Well, good morning, y'all. Back here out on this job where I did the mud bench yesterday. Hopefully I'm going to only be here for one more day to tighten up a few things. I still have the shelves upstairs bedroom to do, and I think I've changed my mind on how I'm going to do them. I'm not going to build them like the pantry shelving because they're exposed. I think I'm going to do a floating shelf. I think it'd just be a good compliment to this job. So first I have to hang the door to that closet that's right next to it. All right, as you can see, I'm illuminated a little bit here. I went out and got a new light to, because I've been noticing, see, I work inside these houses that don't have any electricity, and I have difficulty with dark videos, as you've been noticing. So I'm going to try and get more camera lights. The only thing is it creates shadows, but it's better than nothing. I'm up here about ready to hang this door here in that hole. It's a closet door. It's just a basic 2.6/6.8 door that needs to be trimmed out after I hang it. Some people like to trim it out before and then just put it in the hole and then nail it off and then adjust it, which I may do that too. We'll see. But anyways, this is where the shelves are going, right in here. So I'm gonna go ahead, and what I'd like to do is probably do these shelves first before I trim this out. That way I could slide the shelves in to their spots, because I'm gonna go with floating shelves. I think they would look better. It'd be more like just a solid piece of wood instead of a generic kind of shelf. I think it would just really complement this house a little bit. They may like it even so much they might want to do it on this side too. So let me go ahead. Well, I brought this up. This is my square. This will tell me how out of square. How do I get this in here? There we go. This will tell me how out of square my walls are. See how that's rocking? That's not too bad there. Let me see. Let me get this light over here so you can see what I'm seeing. That's pretty square on this side so far, but then I've got a good rock there. And what that is telling me is when I cut my shelf, I'm going to have to get a back measurement and a front measurement. And by the looks of this, I should be all right because the back is smaller than the front. So it would make it easier to slide this whole thing into my mounting brackets here. If it was the other way around, I would almost have to build these floating shelves in place. But with it being like this, I should be able to put my mounts on here. I'm going to laser line them in and determine how deep I want to go with these. I think I'm going to hold them back a couple inches back here, probably 1 inch behind. That'll maximize the shelf, probably 3/4 of an inch, and that will maximize that shelving, the distance, for putting stuff on. But anyways, yeah, let me get set up to for this laser, and that way, and I'll show you how what I'm gonna do is, well, I'll go get my tripod for my laser, but that doesn't get me up high because I want to put 5 shelves in here. So what I might do is take a piece of 1x, tack it on here all the way to the top, just tack it onto the jam leg here before I hang this door, and that way I can clamp it onto here and I can move it up and down, and then when I'm done with it I just take it off and then I can hang the door. So let me get that set up, and that way you can watch me laser line these mounts for these mounts, and then we'll cut the 1x to put the mount, to make the mounts and install them, and then we'll make the shelves. Get this done, then hang this door and trim it out and put the baseboard into it. Oh, I can't do that because I don't have the baseboard. Oh well. But anyways, I'll be able to trim the door out. That way that'll be done. Alright, well, what I've got going on here is, if you see, I have put a 1x, tacked it onto this jam leg here, to, this rough framing. So I have a place to clamp my laser well, so I can laser line all 3 sides of these walls here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up like standard. The bottom of this shelf is going to be, I believe, 20 inches, 24. That way they can get some kind of like a basket underneath there, maybe a laundry basket of some sort, a wicker basket of, that they can use for a hamper or something. And then what I did with these floating shelves, to minimize the thickness of it, I'm gonna have to rip, instead of going with a standard 1x2 for my shelving cleats for the shelf to slide on, I'm gonna have to rip them all down to 1 inch. And because you got a 3/4 inch on the top and 3/4 of an inch on the bottom. So to minimize the thickness of it, I'm gonna rip the cleats down to 1 inch. So it'll make the shelf only 2.5 inches thick. If I didn't, it would make it 3 inches thick. It'd be probably too beefy, too cumbersome for this small area. And I'm only gonna get 4 shelves in here because this is gonna be the top of the 4th shelf, and it's gonna be high enough. Don't want anybody to stand on this one in order to get to the top one. So if I just put 4 here, that should be adequate enough. And they should be, like I said, be able to put get a wicker basket or something and put underneath there for some sort of hamper. This is probably just going to be for like sweaters and sweatshirts and stuff like that, or just knickknacks and books, who knows. It'll be sturdy for anything that they want to put in there. So let me go ahead and get this laser lined and get all my marks on the walls for my laser lines, and then I can get my measurements. See, I've got more of a wall here than I do on this side, so I'll pull my measurement from this side and make 2 of them so that when I put them on this side, it'll be exactly the same length as this one. Now, if you remember, I was going to go 3/4 inch, I believe. Yeah, I'll go 1 inch in, and then you figure about 3/4 of an inch for a facing on it. This is about what it's going to look like. It's going to 45 there. Then it's going to be 2.5 inches. And then you're going to have the 1 inch cleat here. And this whole thing's going to slide right in over it. If that makes any sense. It will once I start building this and put it together. I'll have to cut all these pieces on the table saw downstairs. I'll put you on a tripod and let you watch that. So let me go ahead and get these marks in. Maybe I can put you on time lapse while I do that, because there's no need for you to listen to me grunt and groan about these measurements. All right. All right, I got all my marks here for all my shelving, as you saw. And the bottom one, I didn't bring this mount that I put on here low enough. So I went down as far down on the mount that I could on the one by there. And then I took a measurement from my laser line down to this line. And then I just measured each one down to where I needed to make a mark. It does the same thing. So now all I have to do is get some measurements and I can cut all these, rip them to the width that I need, which is 1 inch, and get glue them and nail them on here. And then I can start making the shelves. Let's get after it. All right. Oh, it's pretty dark down here in this room here. I had to break out the reinforcements. I had to break out all my lights and everything just so I can film this and be able to see on the saws and stuff. So, anyways, yeah, I came up with some measurements for my cleats for my shelving, and I need 4 of them at 24, and then I'll need 8 of them at 9.5 inches. And I'll explain that when I get up there to install them. So what I can do is I could put you on time warp. There's no sense in you listening to all this sawing and everything, but you can witness everything. Put you in time warp. Alright, after an hour of messing with GoPro app, geez, with absolutely no results, so aggravating, I'm getting another camera. There's no question about it. As soon as I can. But anyways, let's nail all these cleats on where they belong. Let's see if we got any studs behind them. Nope, no studs. So, I'm gonna have to glue them on. I hope you can see everything I'm doing. As you can see, I'm angling down so the nail is at an angle to help support it. It'll pull it into the driveway. The heavier it is, the tighter it'll pull towards the drywall. Except for, of course, where I know there's a stud. All right. Throw some glue in there. This one will support it anyways, the weight of it. Once it's all glued together, it'll be just fine. Okay. He's going to take the bulk of the weight, so I want to make sure there's ample glue on them. You don't get these glue spots here first, right off the bat. They harden up. Your shelf won't be able to slide on there because these humps will be here. You'll either have to cut them out with a razor knife or a chisel or whatever. So it's best to get them now. I'll get them when I get finished putting all these on. Last one, that's the one we're looking for. Yep. Okay. Oh, this hat is a pain in the butt too. Okay, so I just use something like this and scrape the edge clean. Now you don't get the glue all over your hands like I just did earlier. Just a nice square edge, that's all you need. Just to smear it so it'll take the humps out. That's all you need to do, smear it in. All right. Okay, now I got all my cleats on. I got all the glue spread out that, you know, squirted out of it. Spread out nice and evenly so there's no humps. And now I gotta get a measurement on each one of these shelves. I need a back measurement and then I need a front measurement. Because if you remember at the beginning of this project, I showed you that it is wider in the front than it is in the back, which helps us out a great deal because I'll be able to slide each individual shelf in now. If it was the opposite, if it was smaller on the outside here and wider in the back, then I would have to make each shelf in place and you wouldn't be able to slide them out. You know what I'm saying? So this helps me out a good deal. This side is relatively square, so I can use this as my square point to measure from, and then this will be my elongated mark. This will be my short mark from this side over, and then it should, in theory, slide right on in place. If there's a little bit of a gap on these shelves, it's all right. They, you know, they will caulk them in place, which helps hold and support these as well. The caulking and everything. It's not like these are going to take a tremendous amount of weight, but with them glued on the wall and plus angle nailed into the drywall, just even without caulking them in place, it'll hold. So I'm not worried about it. I haven't had any callbacks yet, and I hope this won't be the first one. So let me go ahead and get my measurements here, and then I'll take you downstairs and probably put you on time lapse again so that you can watch me make each one of these shelves. When I get to putting them together, put the shelves together, I'll bring you into that and show you, explain how I'm going to put them together. But until then, let me get these measurements and I'll see you downstairs. Okay, well, when I got my measurements on those shelves and everything, it was just the opposite of what I thought it was. It's larger in the back and smaller in the front, so I'm gonna have to build them in place, which is okay. I can do it either way. Get the same results. But I'll go ahead and start cutting all this. Oh, I didn't get a depth. Okay. So I need that as well so I can set my table saw up. Alright, let me get to go up there and get that, and then I'll put you on time lapse. I'll be back in a minute.
Jamie is just happy it is time to come home. He's been in action for a while, it was way too long. After well-debated country paid a trip away. Jamie's on a plane and we can all wish Jamie a nice day. if he was ever given any choice. Saying no was never an option he could voice. Was just given a paper with the time and the place. New clothes, her haircut, and a very sad face. Jamie lost some good friends and half of his right leg. Can't remember how it happened, but that sure was a pain. They told him he was lucky, pinned a token on his chest that Jamie gave his old girlfriend, who since had married his best friend.
Alright, we're up here with the shelves again, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing. You'll probably get a couple of these shelves in. I might move you back a little bit. There's not much room for all of us in here, you guys and me working the shelving and the lighting and all that stuff. So you might see the back side of me quite a bit. I'm going to go ahead and start putting these together, and then after I'm done, I'll show you the end result. As you can see, I have ripped all these to the length the width that I need, plus the lengths, and I gave it a 45 right here, so that the face, this will be the face of it, will 45 right into that, and see it has a nice clean edge, you know, so nice sharp clean edge. Once I get that all nailed together and glued and nailed together, that'll be nice and pretty. Once I paint that, it'll look like one solid piece of wood. You go ahead and nail these here in, push them in place. Now granted, these are not the best fitting because you try to put, you know, square cut wood against bowed and, you know, angled drywall. All you can really do is get it as close as you possibly can, as best as you can. Let me move this over here. Maybe we can get a better, let's see if that works a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, like I was saying, all you can do is really get as close and as best as you can. Because the back wall is bowed. I mean, you can go ahead and cut this piece 12 times, you know, to make it fit exactly perfect. But in the long run, they're still going to caulk the edges. They're still going to paint it. Now, if this was stand grade, I would suggest, yes, go ahead and take the extra time, cut the width a little extra wide so that you can keep fitting it in there, making your scribes, cutting it to the conformity of the back wall and the side walls and everything else. And then once you got those three sides taken care of, then you go ahead and 45 the front. I mean, you can do that, you know, you can even do that with these if you wanted that level of precision, when these are going to be painted anyway, so they can just go ahead and caulk a 3/32 of an inch gap, you know, you get the same results. They'll caulk it and sponge it off, and it'll look like it's, you know, a solid piece of wood. If it was a big gap, then I would suggest, yeah, recutting the piece. But when you have just a small crack line, it'll be fine. So we go ahead and push this in place. That one's in. That one's in. That one's in. And that one's in. Okay, all the top pieces are in. Now I'll go ahead and get these bottom pieces. Make sure I got enough nails. Okay, I got enough for one of them anyways. Now what I did was, remember, I have one wall, this wall here, that's angled inward this way a little bit. So I made sure on my top pieces I cut my front angled that way, and then on my bottom pieces I cut it so it's angled that way. And I left these two pieces square because that's a square wall there. This wasn't, because when they drywall these corners in, it creates a little bit of an angle. So that's why this wall is off. I'm sure it was originally, before they put this corner bead on, originally it was square. But when they put all the drywall mud on here, it creates an angle. So that's pretty natural throughout these new homes, newer homes, even with older homes, unless you have an old plastered house. So yeah, it goes together like that, and then all you have, after I nail that up there, I've got this front piece here that goes right over there like that. And it looks like I might have to modify that just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and nail this off. That one's on. And I'll glue these front faces on. Don't really need to, because they're not going to take any abuse. Once they're painted in and everything, they'll be just fine. Whoops. Let's go back some. There we go. And I'm not hitting with my hammer on the very sharp edge here. I'm hitting up here in the blunt part where you'll never see it. Because if you hit this sharp point here, you'll dent it, and then you'll see that in the final product. You don't want to do that. Come on. That's going to be pretty. I really should probably take a hair off of these. I'm not going to take hair off that one, that's for sure. Feeling for the lip right here, the edge. Make sure this top lip is exactly where it needs to be. Oh. There we go. Okay. Boy, that feels good all the way around. Tap right here. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's all secured. Get a nice, take some, you know, the orbital sander that I have, and it'll sand all this out. I might even take a little sandpaper and just take the edge off of this a little bit, just so it's not as sharp. Be nice to have just a little bit of forgiving edge there. No, I won't take much, but just so it's not this sharp, and it'll take care of these little splinters too, if they're, you know, that this creates. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get this one in and see if it fits. Look at that. Can't ask for a tighter fit than that. We won't go there. Pretty. Pretty. Yeah, nice clean edge. Yep, nice clean edge. Once all this gets putty and caulked and painted, it'll be real nice and pretty. Sand that up so it'll take care of a lot of those little burrs, all those little birch hairs. Okay, let's get this other one other side on. Yep, it fits. I love it. That's alright, there's no room back there for that. Number 501, no I do not. Alright, just tap it on. Get this here on. Here on. Alright. Cap it in place so it's in good, ooh, that's good standing. Come on. Great, pretty. I love it when a plan comes together. So I have nails, I'm going to have to get this piece up. Alright, last piece. Get this top on. Alright, like this, tap the bottom. I'll have to sand that bottom a little bit. Got a little bit of a lip. I have to take my water sander and sand it on the bottom, and it'll take that lip, will take that lip right off of there. And it's on the very bottom, so it's not like you're going to see it either. If it was one of these ones here, I'd probably pop that piece back off and recut it. But it seems to be fine just the way it is. Now, they can actually put, go down here a little bit. If you can see, they've got enough room there now. So they could probably put a little hamper basket there, a little wicker hamper basket. They've got up to 24 inches. So they can slide up underneath there. And then they have almost 12 inches in between each shelf. And then they have then they have just about 12 inches in between each shelf. And then they have, let's see, almost 27 inches up top that they can store taller stuff. So yeah, finished product. Once they caulk it in, put it, and I'm going to give it a little bit of sanding here. We've got some finished shelves here. Let's I'll move the camera out this way, and we can hang this door now that I've got all this in here, and the door won't be in the way of doing all this. So let me shut you off and get set up for that, and then you can watch me hang the door. All right, now we're going to go ahead and tackle this door. There's a couple different ways that you can hang this door. I've done them both ways, but I'm going to do them this way because it's the more easier way for the typical homeowner. It would be easier for them to do it this way. And you've probably seen me hang them the other way in my other videos. Either way is fine as long as you get the results that you're looking for. So what I did was I pulled my measurement from the bottom of the jamb of this door, the side jamb. I pulled from the bottom and measured all the way up to where this reveal is at the top of the door, the top header, and I went 1/4 inch past the bottom of that top header. So I got 81 1/4. That way it'll give you a 1/4 inch reveal on this jamb material all the way around the door. If you look at the doors in your house, you'll probably have an 1/8 of an inch reveal or a 1/4 inch of a reveal. And that's pretty standard for all the trim. So I went ahead and already cut my casing. I've got one for this side, one for this side, and I got my top header. And this top header, I cut at the shortest points of the cuts. I cut from point to point 1/4 inch larger than it is the jamb opening. That way you have a 1/4 inch reveal on the jamb on either side of the door. And what I do is I pretty much go ahead and line this up so it looks like I have about 1/4 of an inch reveal there. About 30 seconds of it. Okay. Now, I can go ahead and hook this one to it. This is a 45-degree cut now into this other header piece. And you don't want to jam this material tight to the hinge because it may cause a squeak, especially if you have a thicker piece of casing, like a piece of 1x or something that you're going to be using for casing instead. If you push it tight against this hinge will rub against the wood and it'll squeak. This one here you don't really have to worry about it because the profile is low enough. Flush to the bottom of my jamb there. And what I like to do is make sure my joint is nice and flush with each other. And then I just put a nail on the side and that'll hold it together right there in perfect unity. And that's what we need, is perfect unity, right? Alright. I'll tap this one in place. Come on, there we go. That puts me right there, within a 1/4 inch reveal. All right. Let's pull you in here so you can see what I did. I'll give you a close-up of this. Alright, see, now I have roughly a 1/4 inch reveal, or about 3/32 of an inch reveal on the jamb here. And then this 45 right here is nice and tight and it's flush with each other. That's why I put that nail on the side. Then I just tack it all the way down, about every 10 inches or 12 inches, and I double up down there so that it gives it extra strength for when we put our baseboard in. Same with this side, 45 is nice flush with each other because I put a nail on the side, and then about every 10 to 12 inches with a 1/4 inch reveal all the way down. Now you'll see that there's no gap in here, but that's because the door is put together with nails here. I gotta pull the nails out before I put this door in place. And I'll slide this door in place and nail it right here. Usually sometimes I like to nail it right in the side here because you have more meat right here, more meat, more wood for the nail head to hold on to. So let's go ahead and get you set up over here so you can watch me hang this door. Make sure all your jambs are nice and clean. Almost got myself. Let's get this door in place. Alright, see now how it holds the door in place, doesn't go forward into the hole. That's why I say it's a lot easier when you trim these out first to hang them like this. And then all you have to do is you can adjust it by tapping the jamb in or out wherever you need to so the door sits flush on the inside. We'll get to that in here in a second. Let me just go ahead and tap this up. about 1/4 inch up off the floor. That allows for whatever flooring you're going to be putting in here, carpet or hardwood flooring, whatever. Only 1/4 inch though, because that will be caulkable if there's, you know, if you use thinner material like vinyl, plank or whatever. But even then, if you use a 1/4 inch, it's pretty tight because vinyl plank is about 5/16 of an inch. So you gotta try and get it as, what I like to do is pretty much like to try and see how plumb this inside wall is. I got 18 and just under a half, 18 just under a half. Which is what I have over here, 18 and a half. And that will move hopefully over a little bit. Yeah. Bump this over. Alright. Push it tight over. Sure that my reveal up top here at the top of the door is the same from left to right. I have about 1/8 of an inch gap all the way across. So tack that in. And then I make sure I have the same reveal that I have up top along the side in between the door and the jamb. Got about 1/8 of an inch gap there. All the way down. 2 nails on the bottom so the baseboard doesn't push the jamb leg over. Okay, now I've got a good reveal all the way around the whole door. And actually it looks like it's hitting pretty good. Could move in just a little bit. Yep, it shows that it does. And this needs to go out just a hair. But I have a whole segment on how to hang doors on a video. A future video or a past video, so search and you'll find. No, it's got to win. That nail blow out here. Oh, tough little nail. That's a little nail too. Good gracious. Ow. Dang. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this door in here and I'm going to check and see where it hits, how it hits this door stop here on the inside. If it's touching on the top and not on the bottom, or if it's touching on the bottom and not on the top, then I have to adjust the jamb whichever way it needs to go. And I don't have to adjust it at all. It hits good all the way from top to bottom. Tap in just a little bit. There we go. Before I put the casing on the other side, I'll have to check my reveal, make sure nothing moved. Okay. Doesn't seem like anything moved. Now, cut that over. Still tripping. Reveal on the door again. Yes, it's still good. Okay, there's a little pressure in here. Huh. Okay, now it's ready for casing on this side of the door. Pull you inside here. Bring my casing in. Switch the oven, I already did. Bring you inside here. See what I'm doing? Alright. Let's see if we can move it back a little bit. Alright. Can you see now? Okay, that's a little bit better, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and put this header on. I want to make sure that I have same reveal on the left side as I do the right side. A 1/4 inch reveal, yes I do. Raise it up on the header, so I have a 1/4 inch reveal on the header as well. So it's a 1/4 inch all the way across, and I have a 1/4 inch on either side. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and put this side on. Make sure they're good and flush with each other. Put a nail in there. And go ahead and put this sucker on. Alright, do the same thing on the right side. Make sure I got a good reveal. Make sure they're flush with each other. Alright, so what's going on here? There we go. There's reveal. There's reveal all the way down. Two nails on the bottom. Alright. Switch guns, and now I can nail it home. Two nails on the bottom. And we have a hung door now. Let me go ahead and show you this. What I was talking about, where it hits this door jamb. See this? I mean, this door stop right here. You gotta make sure that it hits the top all the way down to the bottom. And it does. So, that concludes this door up here and the shelving up here. So, I'm gonna shut you off and then I'll move everything downstairs and we'll go probably do some casing on the big door that we hung the other day. You'll probably see that video before this one. But go ahead and case that out and then. Alright, well, as we're coming to a completion on this job here, we only have a couple more things left to do. If you remember painting, when last Friday we hung this door here after we did the pantry shelving. Well, now we have to case it out like we did the door upstairs with a 1/4 inch reveal on the jamb legs and everything and the header. We got to trim it on both sides, but the only thing is with this door, if you remember, I had to notch this jamb out for the stairs here. So it's only going to get, let's turn the light on, it's only going to get casing from here down to the floor. And from there over to that corner, from that corner down to the floor. So I'll show you how I'm going to get those angles. And but it's almost lunchtime here, so I may just go ahead and get stuff ready and then take lunch, and then after lunch I'll come back to this and I'll show you how I tackle these angles for this casing. relatively easy. You have an angle finder like I have. Like I said, I'll put that in the links on this video too. But if you go to my stair one that I'm going to be putting out before this one, you can find the tools that I use in links in the descriptions of each video. And I should probably be putting where I get my music too. If you want to know where I get, my music for my videos. So, let me go ahead and shut you off and turn you back on after lunch, and we'll get back after this. See you then. That was quick. Okay, I'm back from lunch. And it was great. Thanks for asking. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and trim this big door here. It's pretty standard on the outside. Won't really elaborate anything. You just pull, just like we did the other door upstairs. Just pull from the bottom of the jamb and make sure you have a 1/4 inch reveal on the jamb, just like the other door. That's not too complicated. And then nail it off. We're not going to get into this side too much. It's this side with all these cuts. This one here, let's see if I can, if you can see, it's got an angle because of the stairway here. It's drywalled over. And we've got to get this piece of casing with this angle cut on here in order for it to fit from the floor on up. So let's go ahead and show you that a little bit there. Let's see if we can turn this around. Oh, maybe not. All the stuff in the way. Alright, let's see what we can do. Yeah, here we go. Can you see now? There we go. But anyways, we've got to get this angle right here. Now, how I get that is, seeing this is the long point. This is going to be the long point of the cut. So all I have to do is just make sure I get a 1/4 inch reveal on my, because this is going to be the 1/4 inch reveal. That's where the casing is going to stop, right there. And then I carry that line all the way up to here. Then I get a measurement from the bottom of my jamb to that point right there. And I already did, it came to 59 degrees. 59 inches. Now, how I get this cut, I'll show you this. Ooh, it's windy. But anyways, I use this thing, this angle finder, just like I used on the stairs. I put this on here and I make sure it's flat against the jamb. And then I push that up there like that. And that's the angle. I transfer this onto the casing. Now remember, this is the small end of the casing. You got the wide end and then the small end, the 3/4 inch end, and this is the beaded end. So remember that when you go to orientate this onto the casing, which way it goes onto your casing before you make your mark. So what I do is I went over to, well, let's just go ahead. I already got this cut. So let me see if this will stay up there. Let's go like this. How's that? Hey, what do you know? All right, the magic of YouTube. I've already got one cut. So what I did was I pulled my measurement of 59 right to there. And then I put this on the small end of the casing, which would be this side. And then I drew my pencil line, just like that. And then I cut that pencil line. And there we go. Fits like a dream. Now we can do the same thing up top here. So we got, but the thing is, let me see if I can do all this one-handed and everything. Okay, if you see this, right up here, we have a different angle. And this is not the same angle as what we have down there. So that's why I love these things, is because you can always just change it just like that. There's my angle, bam. This will never lie. You can transfer this to the other piece. I get a measurement from there to my short point here where 45's into this other piece, and my short point there. And I get that measurement, and I cut my 45. So I already got this one cut. Whoop. And then I cut my 45 right here, and then I pull my measurement. Let me see if I can do that again. So I don't have to hold it. Ooh, I have an idea. How do I do it this way? Come over here into this way. There we go. That's better. So I got my 45 here, and remember it was 15 inches from the short point of my 45 to my long point of underneath the stairs. And then I just put my angle finder on there, transferred the mark over to there, made my cut. That wound up to be a 50-degree angle, so it worked out pretty well. My saw cuts up to 50 degrees, so it worked out perfect. I already fitted up there, it fits perfect, so now all I have to do is I got everything cut, just nail it off, and it's a done deal. These things save so much time. They never lie. They always put you where you need to be. Exactly on your cuts. I use them religiously instead of trying to use a speed square and try and find my angle and all that stuff and everything. And it's too much math. This thing here, you just push it up against the edge, boom, you're done. And then you transfer it over to your work. It's easy. It can't get any easier than that. So I'll put a link on this in the description of this video, so that if you're, carpenter or a soon-to-be carpenter, get one of these. It'll save you a lot of time. So let me put you on time lapse so you can see me do this and listen to a little bit of music while I'm working away, and enjoy. All right, show you the final product. Here you go. Now I'm not putting this baseboard in because I just talked to the supervisor, and they want to finish this out. They want the drywall people to come and finish all this out. So I'm not going to trim these out. All I'm going to do is hang the door, so you can roll it in and out. But other than that, I'm not going to trim it out until the drywall people finish off what they got to do. So I didn't trim that down there, but I got the baseboard on that side, and then I got all this. I got casing on this side, and I got baseboard down there. Same with that there. And I got that trim up here. See how that came out? That angle finder makes a nice makes a nice mark, huh? So you can make a nice cut, nice and clean. Yep. All right, so that's gonna pretty much wrap up for today. So what I'm gonna do is, like I said, I'm just gonna hang these pocket doors. I'm not gonna trim them out. They don't want me to. So I'm not gonna bring you in on that. I'm just gonna close this out for the day. I think we have some pretty good content here for a good video. some things that you probably might have learned that you didn't know that, that you could do. And now that you see it, and now that you can watch it a couple of different times, and then you'd be able to, tackle it yourself. Hopefully, if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments, and maybe I can, explain it a little bit better on another video. So, yeah, I didn't explain this baseboard either because I have another video out there. It says it's windowsills and baseboard how-to, or how to do windowsills and baseboard. So if you haven't seen that yet, go ahead and pull that up and watch that. And once again, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Click the notification and press the like button and leave comments, do all that stuff, and it'll help me out, and it'll keep me going, it'll keep this channel going, and I'll keep putting content out there for you that hopefully you can learn off of. So have a nice day.